He is the host of the geopolitical podcast Doomsday Watch, Arthur Snell. Welcome to the show, Arthur. Welcome back.
Hi, good evening.
What do you think about this? Well, first of all, from your knowledge of diplomacy and how it works, as I just explained, I mean, the key diplomatic role in all the diplomatic corps is the American ambassador, the American embassy. So it's a very, very important appointment. Well, first of all, tell us why it will be difficult, because, Donald Trump, as I always say about Donald Trump, don't worry about what he says, worry about what he does. So at the moment he's going, no, I love Keir Starmer, love David Lammy, but he doesn't really. He's been known to say that he's very worried about their left-wing tendencies. So whoever gets that job in Washington are going to have to bridge the gap between, if you like, Donald Trump's right-wing America and Britain's, or Keir Starmer's left-wing Britain. That's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. They're clearly... if you put Keir Starmer and Donald Trump, you couldn't think of two people less likely to have much common ground. Now, obviously, we're perfectly capable of having a reasonably good relationship with America, even with an unusual president like Donald Trump. But there could quite quickly be arguments about whether we're continuing to support Ukraine. There could be arguments about tariffs. We know that Trump's talking about that. Britain finds itself stuck between trying to cozy up to America, but also if America is less interested in securing Europe, then we have to think very carefully about if we're distancing ourselves from Europe. So there's some very difficult issues there.
And what would you think? I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm Peter Mandelson's biggest fan, and a lot of people would agree with me. Over the years, he hasn't necessarily endeared himself to the British population. Of course, he's got this nickname, the Prince of Darkness. He was a master of the political dark arts, a spin doctor extraordinaire. Now, that all of those things are perhaps aspects to criticise him about, but might be good. He might be good in the Washington embassy with those traits. Do you think he could be a good ambassador for us there?
Well, I think in ordinary circumstances, I definitely think he would. He's clearly highly capable. Whatever one might think of his politics or his character, He's extremely well connected. He's been involved, not just in the UK cabinet. He was a European commissioner. He's in business and so on. So ordinarily, yes, I think he's an exceptionally good candidate. I think that the challenge is that he's certainly not seen as socialist. As we all know, he was very much on the right of the Labour Party. But I think he's seen as a very kind of internationalist, globalist sort of elite type of character that is very much what Trump and his people are railing against. Now, one might point at Elon Musk and say, well, he's also part of the global elite, even more so. But it seems to me that Trump's world is this sort of earthy kind of nationalistic world. And it's not 100% clear to me that that's one that Peter Mandelson will navigate easily.
I assume, though, as a former member of the diplomatic corps, that one of the traits that you must have to operate successfully within that realm is, pragmatism. And I would suggest that, if nothing else, Peter Mandelson is one hell of a pragmatist.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I certainly think he would, throw a lot of his talent at it. I mean, there's a question, of course, to be asked whether it's necessary to have a politician at all. Our current ambassador, who by all accounts has been very successful, Karen Pierce, is a career civil servant. And arguably, when you've got someone politically quite controversial like Donald Trump, having somebody who to some extent has a sort of clean skin politically might be a good idea.
Sort of last point, Arthur, thanks for coming on again. Good to talk again. I mean, whatever, Starmer's lot, Keir's crew over here are trying to say, oh, no, well, yes, we've said a few nasty things about Donald in the past, but it's all water under the bridge. David Lammy went for dinner with him and they got on famously. Well, I suggest that, Trump, again, he's a pragmatist. He's a transactional politician. What have you got for me? I might have something for you. That's about it with him. However, you know, he doesn't forget things like this. He will not like the fact that our Foreign Secretary, and by the way, loads of other cabinet ministers have said terrible things about him as well, but he won't like the fact that Lammy called him a neo-Nazi sexist woman hater. This undercurrent for a diplomat, for the ambassador in Washington, whoever it may be, that is going to be difficult to deal with, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we shouldn't pretend otherwise, but we shouldn't forget also that under the previous government, which possibly could be seen as being more closely aligned to Trump politically, Boris Johnson had said plenty of things publicly about Trump that he later retracted, and of course Trump fell out with the last ambassador but one, Kim Darroch, who was basically sent home. So I mean, it's never going to be easy, whoever's there, I think.
Okay, a very last question, Arthur. Suppose they gave you the job, right, which of course I think they should. You are the new ambassador to Washington for Great Britain. What would be the first thing you would do in terms of Donald Trump?
I think would be to reassure him that Britain remains fundamentally one of America's closest allies, that actually we are the bridge between Europe and America, and particularly in a Trump era, because Trump really doesn't get on with continental Europe. So, for Biden and Obama, it was very easy for them to deal direct with France and Germany. But I think Trump's people find that a bit harder. So I think Britain does have a role to play there.
Yeah, interesting times ahead. Arthur, really good to talk to you again. Thank you so much for your time.